HFK presents 5 Minutes of History, and I'm your host, Terry Lynch. I've been a traveling man, spent the last week at a couple of colleges that have been kind enough to have me back time and time again. And the first one was close to home. Elgin Community College in Elgin, Illinois. Go Spartans! I am Spartacat. Well, no, I'm not, but it sounds like a fun job. See, that's the name of their mascot, Spartacat, for the Spartans of Elgin Community College, where I was this week as Ben Franklin. They have me back there around Constitution Day every year to talk about the Constitution, and I had a great time. And my number one fan, who shows up each and every year, the president of the college. Go President! Well, we had a great time, and I was really surprised by how it had expanded and the construction they've got going on. But that's no surprise, because Elgin's known for planning in advance. As a matter of fact, the man who planned the city of Elgin helped plan the city of Chicago as well. His name, William Bennett. I can't wait to see what the place looks like next year. Is that? It could be. It might be. It is! It's Horatio, the town crier, here with this week's question. Thanks so much, Horatio. Good job. And the question this week comes from Jen from Elgin Community College. And Jen asks, Ben Franklin is credited with developing so many inventions. Did he ever invent one that just flopped? Well, Jen, yes. His very first invention, swim fins. You see, when Ben was 10 years old, he wanted to develop a way to move faster in the water as he swam, and he thought if he could make his hands and his feet larger, he could push more water and move faster. It's in theory correct, but what he used made it kind of a failure. He used planks of wood and tied them to his wrists with rope and tied them to his ankles with rope. When he went into the water, he moved fast, right to the bottom. See, what he didn't take into consideration was the fact that you have to be able to smoothly move those swim fins. So his first invention, a complete and utter failure. Ben would say no, because Ben said, if you learn something from a mistake, it's not a failure. It's a learning experience. So he went on to realize something from his experiment. Never use my swim fins. He did also go on and invent quite a few other impressive inventions like, well, the artificial arm for reaching things up higher on shelves, the bifocal glasses, the odometer in your car, and believe it or not, the rocking chair. Yes, just a few things that crazy inventor was up to. Well, I finished up there as Ben Franklin, and I hopped on a big old jet plane, headed east to my next location, Berkshire Community College in Pittsfield, Mass. Go Berkshire! One of my favorite places to visit in September is Berkshire Community College because it's located in Pittsfield. Pittsfield is beautiful this time of year. And I've got to tell you, I also like Pittsfield because of this little bit of interest. You see, back in 1791, Pittsfield wrote a bylaw into the rules of governing that restricted baseball playing within 80 yards of the new meeting hall. They were afraid baseballs might hit the window and break the precious glass. 1791. You know, that was about 40-some years before Abner Doubleday put the rules of baseball together and established it as our national pastime way a little bit further west in Cooperstown, New York. Wow, baseball must have been around here forever. And Pittsfield commemorates it with having one of the oldest minor league baseball fields. And their team now is the Colonials. Go Colonials! Wow, I had a great time. And speaking of time, you know what it is? It's trivia time! And today's trivia, guess what, folks? It has to do with Abner Doubleday, the man who invented baseball over in Cooperstown. Well, there's a lot of discussion about that. You see, Abner Doubleday put together baseball and established the rules, but there was also another man in New York called Alexander Cartwright who had established it as well and had two teams play a year before Doubleday even put the rules together. This controversy went back and forth, and eventually back in 1907, they officially said that Doubleday started baseball. He was the one who put the rules together. But that's not our trivia. Our trivia has something else to do with Doubleday. You know what that trivia is, folks? You say Abner Doubleday, they say baseball. I say Civil War. You see, Abner Doubleday was actually a graduate of West Point and second in command at Fort Sumter in Carolina. And he was the one who gave the order for the first volley of cannon shots for the Union Army that started the Civil War. So there's your trivia. I have to tell you, outside of that, I had a great time this week at the colleges I attended, and there was an overriding theme from the audience members. Students and faculty alike were asking questions of the characters I portrayed, saying, what would you do now? How would you deal with things the way they are now? And every time I had the same answer for them. They were just as hard back then. There was just as much difficulty and adversity to overcome. And these founding fathers and mothers found a way to overcome those adversities and survive and make us the great country that we are. That's one of the benefits the United States has, is we're always looking for the comeback kids. And I, coincidentally, have a book that talks all about that. It's called Mistakes Happen, A Historical Guide to Overcoming Adversity. And it talks about these characters that I portray. And it shows how they overcame adversity and how you can do it just as well. And as luck would have it, I've overcome my adversity. It's now available online. Just go to our website, www.hfkpresents.com. There's a little picture in the description of the book, and below it is a little button where you can press it, and voila, you can have your own copy sent to you. Or you can come see me at some event, and I'll gladly sign and deliver it in hand. Yes, indeed. Now, I told you where you can find the book. It's on our website. You can also send us an email, and that would go to info@hfkpresents.com. And on those emails, you can ask me a question about history, anything about history, and I'll try and answer it in an upcoming episode, along with giving you some more information about tidbits of history throughout the years. Here's a little tease. Next week's episode is the promised episode on Baron von Steuben that I told you about a couple weeks ago. I'm going to go into great detail on it, but until then, I want you to remember, check out my website. Give me an email. On the website, take a look at some of the other videos that we've got. We have links to all those. We have links to our blogs. We have links to everything. And you know what? You colleges, you schools out there, if you like what you see here, contact me and we'll make arrangements to come out and personally visit your school as well, or an organization. And if you want, we can also bring some of these books along the way. So I am just about out of time, folks, so I'm going to have to say goodbye. This has been Terry Lynch, your host of HFK Presents 5 Minutes of History. Remember, watch out. History happens when you least expect it.